The Detroit Lions just had a massive 47-9 win over the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday, but at what cost? They just lost Aidan Hutchinson for the season with a broken tibia. But don't worry, there's some options for the Lions. We got 3 guys that the Lions could be trading for on or before the trade deadline this year. Let's talk about it. Hi, I'm Mike Payton of Azeez Sports Detroit. I'm here to talk to you about 3 guys that the Lions can make trades for that could come in and replace Aidan Hutchinson. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do it in 3 different ways. We're going to go with the gigantic reach. I mean, the huge, the guy that everybody wants. Then we'll go for like a middling guy that could be brought in on a good deal. And then we'll go for kind of the lower end guy that the Lions could maybe trade for one of these other 2 guys and still get this guy. One guy that I really like on the cheaper side of things is the New York Giants edge rusher, Azeez Ojulari. Giants drafted him in the 3rd round just a couple years ago. He was expected to be somebody that was going to be big for them, but with Kayvon Thibodeau and Brian Burns coming into town, the Giants sort of pushed him into the background. He's someone that is expected to be on the trade deadline, and this is a guy that the Lions should definitely be interested in, regardless of whether or not they get one of these big guys. This is someone that they can develop over time. Terrell Williams getting his hands on him would be huge. Terrell Williams, the Lions' defensive line coach, has been great with Josh Pascal this year and some of the other guys. Isaac Ukwu, who I thought had a pretty good game on Sunday against the Cowboys. Ojulari is someone that could come in, potentially play right away, potentially start right away, and there would be a little obvious drop-off from him to Aidan Hutchinson, but this is a guy that has gotten to the quarterback. He has started in the NFL before. He had 6 sacks in a season just a few years ago. I think if the Lions were to bring him in, they could definitely find something they could do with. The next guy is somebody that we've talked about before. We're going back to New York on this one, but with the New York Jets. Haason Reddick is still out there. I know that, obviously Lions fans, they want their guys that are all about the culture and good people and all that. And I don't think that Reddick sitting out means that he's a bad guy. I think that Reddick saw a situation that he didn't want to be in, and he doesn't want to be with the Jets, and I don't think the Jets want him, and they can't come together on a deal. And the Jets have messed this all up so badly that at this point, they have to trade him for basically whatever they can get. ESPN a couple months ago not put out a report about how NFL insiders and executives felt that the Jets basically ruined their ability to get a high amount of capital back in the trade for him. So the Lions could easily, at this point, as it continues to go on and on and on, they could walk in with a 5th rounder, maybe even a 6th rounder, and say, hey, we'll take Reddick off your hands, and we'll even give him a little bit of an extension, work out his contract, and maybe they can get him on something. I don't know what it would be, get him an extra year, but that is something that is definitely worth looking into. And then there's the big one. This is the one that everybody wants. They want to bring Maxx Crosby back home. Sunday was not a great day for the Raiders. This season has not been great for the Raiders. There's been constant talk about, is Devontae Adams going to get traded? Is Maxx Crosby going to get traded? Then on Sunday, Maxx Crosby is seen pushing one of the defensive coaches when coming off the field. It's just bad. It's really, really bad in Las Vegas. Here's an opportunity for the Lions to come in. They're going to have to highball it. I mean, this is going to be a massive, massive trade, blockbuster style thing. The Lions are going to have to come in with, a 1st round pick. That's just what it's going to have to be. Maybe even 2. This is one of the best defensive players in all of the NFL. He is not going to be cheap to get. And also he comes with a pretty sizable contract. Now the Lions can afford that. And I know there's worry that if they were to bring in a contract like that, would they not be able to get Aleem McNeil or Kirby Joseph or Jameson Williams under contract? They could definitely still do all of those things. The Lions have quite a bit of money, and they're going to have a lot of money next year as well. And they've been very, very smart and wise with how they've done things. And I know the other thing is, hey, Brad Holmes doesn't make deals like this. He hasn't done this in the past. But I don't think that means that Brad Holmes is never going to do it. We talked to him at the Combine in February and asked him if he was ever going to be more selective, like Les Snead, his former mentor in Los Angeles, was. And he said, absolutely. He said, that's something that we want to do, just like the Rams did. The Rams started off drafting a lot of guys. And then as they went further along in their progression, then they started to get guys like Jalen Ramsey and Ndamukong Suh, Brandon Cooks. They went out and they started making big deals. The Lions may be doing that too. He said at the Combine that they weren't there yet, But this is sort of a situation that pushes them into having to be there now. And this is a year that the team wants to win the Super Bowl, and it's certainly a year that they can. They need to go out and make a move, and they need to make it soon, before the trade deadline, if you're asking me. So we'll see where things go. If any of these three guys could potentially be in Detroit, but I think two of these guys, Reddick and Ojulari, are two guys that could absolutely wind up in Detroit. I mean, these are very cheap deals for the Lions, and I would not be surprised if they made either one of them or both at this point. Crosby's a little bit, I don't know. Yeah, that's a huge blockbuster deal that's going to cost a lot. Picks, maybe even a player. Who would that player be if you were going to make that deal? I don't know. We'll see as the season goes along, and we will see you guys next time here at A to Z Sports Detroit.